So we're here with Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit at the University of Miami, at a Refresh Miami event, sponsored by University of Miami, the Launchpad, and Knight Foundation. Alexis, tell me what's so exciting about Miami in terms of entrepreneurship and starting any startup, creative, kind of internet-based business?
Well, like I say, the world is not flat, but the World Wide Web is. What that means is someone with a great idea can open a laptop and potentially start the next billion-dollar, world-changing tech company. And that's powerful, right? You don't have to be in Silicon Valley to do this. And this whole 5-month tour I'm on is 77 universities, 200 stops all over the country in Canada, our hats, talking about this very fact, right? There are startup communities everywhere now, and Miami is no exception. And so the startup community that is here, to all of you I say, don't try to be Silicon Valley. Be your own thing. It's an interesting model, but it's not one size fits all, right? Different communities have different assets and different strengths play to them. Like the fact that right now I'm sending pictures home in Brooklyn and it's covered in snow and I'm chilling. I could be wearing shorts, but it was a sort of professional event, so I didn't want to wear shorts at this point. But I could because the weather's so damn nice.
So when you started Reddit, you were in a suburb of a suburb of a suburb of somewhere in Massachusetts,
yes.
Right? Speaking of snow, they're covered in snow right now.
It's a little chilly over there back in Bedford. Yeah, we
but,
started Steve.
But you didn't let that scare you. You just had an idea and you went with it. And I loved what you said about failure. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah, failure is an option. And if you look at Steve Hoffman, my Reddit co-founder, and I, we started in a tiny little apartment we found on Craigslist that we rented from some Tufts students over the summer. This was in Bedford, Massachusetts. And our first version was janky. I showed the screenshot of it. It was simple, but it solved the problem, and that was our starting point. And I think one of the biggest things an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur, just anyone can do to find success online is get over it. Get over the fact there's no grade on this exam. It doesn't have to be an A. It just has to be good enough.
And we're here at the University of Miami. You spoke your tour, I suppose, is based on reaching out to college students. But the truth is that, we all grow up eventually. We have different careers. We evolve. It doesn't just have to be a student who becomes an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm in my 40s, and I want to start a mobile app to help people who deal with elderly care. So if you see a need, you can do it. I mean, how do you feel about that?
It's so true. I mean, more than half of my stops are not universities.
Oh, okay.
Right? So 200 stops, only 77 are at universities. That's still 123 that are not. But yeah, more often than not, we're seeing a lot of people who are, in some cases, they're already in the workforce, or they have been for a while, who are doing these side hustles, where nights and weekends they have a blog, or they have an Etsy store, they have a Kickstarter, or they have an app that they're launching. They still have the security of a full-time income, but they've got their side hustle. And what's great about the net is it doesn't have to just be this thing that remains a hobby. If it grows, if it gets traction, it can become your life, it can become your business.
And you can do some great things for the community, which is what you've done. And it also, that's sort of what Knight Foundation is doing as well. They fund projects that use citizen journalism, and you don't necessarily have to be a 501c3 to start something. If you believe in something, you just turn on your computer and start a blog.
Yeah, and we've seen so many great examples of sort of citizen or bottom-up journalism. New news organizations are coming out of blogs, right? There are new perspectives on media that are being formed by people who just opened their laptop one day and said, I want to do this. It wasn't easy, but they're doing it, and that's exciting because it's more voices, and I hope just better stuff, not just better journalism, better stuff.
Well, thank you, Alexis.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here in Miami. It was a pleasure, and we really enjoyed your refreshing humor because tech doesn't have to be boring.
No.
No.
That's not how I roll. Yeah, if this tech entrepreneur thing doesn't work out for me, comedy.
Thank you.